If something's in front of you, you kill it. No hiding, no waiting. You keep going.
You're listening to 89.5 The Wave, KCFD Ferguson.
Your property now belongs to Negan.
This is Dead Air.
You're gonna feel pretty stupid when you find out.
Find out what?
They're screwing with the wrong people.
That is right. You are listening to the one, the only Dead Air here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friend, the neighborhood DJ, JazzHandss, rocking out in the studio here to talk about the trailer for Season 7 of The Walking Dead. Now, I know this a little bit late. Normally we do this at 8 o'clock, but I had to write down some notes. I had to get some stuff ready, but we're here, and I'm ready to talk about the Season 7 trailer. So let's just dive right in. Okay, now, I loved that you get to see all the characters with that are in the lineup. You get to see all the characters that are in the lineup, and that's, like, it's fun. And then they show you these cool little, like, highlights from the show, which are really cool. And you get to see kind of, it's cool, but it makes you feel bad because you know one of them's not going to make it. One of them's not going to make it. I'm okay, look, I'm holding to my gun. I think it's either Glenn, Daryl, or Michonne, and possibly Abraham, but Abraham's on, like, the B tier of who I think's going to get it. We know Rick and Carl are safe because why would Negan, if he was going to kill Rick or if he was going to kill Carl, say, if anybody moves, cut the other boy's eye out and feed it to his dad? Why would he say that if he's going to kill Rick or Carl? You see what I'm saying? See how weird that is? So they're safe. Now, I also think that, because my brother brought up a really good point, that we see a first-person perspective in the previous episode that led up to the meeting. We see somebody in the van, and then from the first-person perspective, and then they're taken out of the van, and we see it's Michonne, Rosita, Glenn, and Daryl. So it has to be one of them. And I'm not guessing it's Rosita because she's a fantastic actress. Rosita's a fun character, but if she died, it wouldn't matter. It'd be, oh well, there goes Rosita. How's that going to impact anything? So I don't think it's her. So it has to be one of them. And I noticed when I was watching their clips, when I was going through and watching their clips, because I watched it a couple times just to make double sure, but every single person that they have a clip talked in their clip, except Glenn. Glenn didn't say a word. It showed stuff with Maggie, but he didn't say one word, and the only word he actually did say wasn't in his little montage of remembrance through the show. It was with Rosita and him asking, hey, are you, what did he say? Are you in? Are you in? Are you in? Are you going to follow us? So, could that be a significant thing that they didn't have Glenn talk? Maybe that's a sign that it's Glenn. I hope it's not Glenn, though, because let's face it, if you're a comic book reader, you know that Glenn dies in the comics, so you'd see it coming. And it's like, well, if we knew Glenn was going to die anyway, why wait X amount of months since the end of Season 6 to get there? So I'm hoping that it's somebody else. I really do. But I do kind of hope that they tease that it's going to be Glenn. I hope they throw you off, because Walking Dead loves throwing people off. But I hope that people are going to be like, oh yeah, it's Glenn, I knew it, and then it just turns completely left corner, just left field, completely turns, and I think they're going to do that, and I hope so, because, not that I love Glenn as a character, but it would be too easy. In my mind, it would be too easy to be like, well, let's just kill the main character from the comic. You know what I mean? Now, my brother did bring up a really interesting point, and that pretty much was that Negan could possibly kill Glenn, and then Abraham, stands up and just takes a swing at Negan, and then Negan kills Abraham as well. And he's like, yeah, no exceptions. None whatsoever. So, who knows what's going to happen, but I'm definitely interesting. Now, I also wanted a little, because during the trailer, I noticed that there was these guys that were taking buckets off of walkers and these guys had like strange numbers, or strange letters, I should say, on their shirts. Sorry about that. Strange letters, and from what I could see, it was F and S. So I'm wondering what those guys are. But from what it looked like, because you see a couple clips of Dwight walking through a compound, I assume that's Negan's main base. I believe it's called Sanctuary. So I assume it's Negan's main base of operation, and we see possibly, who knows, they could be people trying to initiate themselves into the Saviors, you know, people who want to join into the Saviors. It's like, oh, well, you got to do this, or possibly even prisoners that are at the camp, you know, or like slaves, because Negan owns everybody. You're Negan's property, and if you can't pay this off, well, then you're going to work for me doing all the dirty work. So I don't know, but it looks like that could be one of the things, and I'm curious to see what the F and the S stand for. You know, could it be saviors or you know, flunkies or something like that? So who knows? We see a new character who, it looks like she's talking to Morgan, but I assume what I can assume is that she's talking to one of our main survivors after the Negan incident. I assume she's talking to one of our main survivors after the Negan incident, and she pretty much just says, you know, whatever he does to you or whatever he did to you, there's always going to be war. So that pretty much, even though, because what I assume is that I assume she's one of Negan's wives, and pretty much she's telling one of the main characters who survived, doesn't matter that you're working for Negan now, because I assume Rick's going to completely give in to Negan's demands because he freaked him out. So that's what I can assume, but they made it so it looks like she was talking to Morgan, but she wasn't talking to Morgan, because you know how tricky they can be. Now, we also get a clip of Spencer telling somebody, you know, we should have made a deal when we had the chance. I think he's going to die just like in the comics. In the comics, he goes to Negan, and spoiler alert, FYI, but if you read the comics, you know. But in the comic books, because stuff changes from the comic books, so I'm talking about it, but in the comics, he dies because he goes to Negan and, you know, says, oh, well, Rick's a weak leader. Rick, you know, is doing this. He's trying to build an uprising. You know, we should have given in from the start, and blah, 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 blah. And, of course, in the comics, Negan kills him for saying that. Negan's like, hey, look, Rick has cojones to at least stand up to me. I can respect that. You're sneaking around his back and coming to me and snitching. I don't like that. I don't respect that. So, boom, you're dead. I think he's going to die the exact same way in the comic, because as of right now, I can't find too much redeeming real qualities within Spencer. Granted, this isn't a character analysis too much. This is a trailer analysis, but Spencer, I can't really see him moving forward, or at least being productive and giving back to the group. I just see him taking and being a hindrance as of right now. So I'm hoping that change maybe, because he could be a very interesting character, but as of right now, he's just kind of a hindrance to me. So we also get a cool, interesting clip or interesting little thing of Negan, and it looks like he's hanging out with Olivia, the woman who owns, or who at least monitors, the guns. Now, it's no surprise that it looks like Negan definitely gets into Alexandria. He hits home. When he does that, how he does that, who knows? It could be the next day. It could be like a week later after the incident. We don't know what happens. But I can only assume that he goes to Alexandria for his first pickup. He leaves Rick and the others alone. They go. They know where Alexandria is. The Saviors know where Alexandria is. They were just waiting. So now he's going to pick up his stuff. And I assume he enters into the town within the first pickup and pretty much shows the town, hey, there was a reason Rick was afraid of me. There's a reason why I'm in control. There's a reason why I run this. And you think that this woman who watches your guns, it could very well not even be that, but in my mind, it's, okay, she watches the guns. Let me show you that pretty much she's mine, and this is mine, and those guns are mine. And that it don't matter. It don't matter. She's, you know, she's with us now. It could be that. It could be just him showing his, showing his, like, hey, you, come here, sit next to me. Have a drink, you know, let's relax. Could be, give us the guns, or it could be... I don't know how that's going to play out, but I think it's going to be interesting to see, and I think it's a show of force for Negan that it doesn't matter. He owns people. He owns this place, and that's where I think... That's what I at least think is going to kind of happen within this. It's going to be a power move. It's just going to be a power move for Negan, showing him that, hey, he can manipulate people, he can get to anybody, and stuff like that. Now, we see what looks like... We see Dwight kind of... standing on a road looking kind of up at the sky, and we see like blood and like just gross, like, it looked like a war scene. It almost actually looked like where Daryl threw the rocket, hit the rocket with those one other saviors and blew him up. Now I'm wondering, and he could have been the one that found them and reported back. I don't know. It could be a flashback, and we might get to see Dwight's story from when he left Daryl from, I think, the first part of the season 6 to how he got his scar with Negan. So we're going to get to see a little bit of that and more of Negan's, ferocity and bad side. And so it could be that, or it could be a thing where we see the Saviors attack a group of innocent people, maybe people from the kingdom. I'm going to get to that, don't worry. But it could be one of those things where it could be a flashback. It could be something to where Dwight's starting to realize, hey, Negan is really crazy and messed up, and maybe I made a really bad choice now and might be regretting what he's doing. Or it could be something to where Rick and the group, or a group, possibly Hilltop, possibly the Kingdom, like I said, attacked one of their groups, slaughtered them, and he's like, there's more out here. There's a war coming. There's a war coming that we can't protect. Now, I'm wondering if it's connected to this one thing, because we see somebody in a car driving, and it looks like somebody hits it from behind, and you see bikers. So I assume it's Saviors attacking somebody. Now, it could be that very scene where you see the blood and you see everything like that. I just connected the dots, and that could be cool. But I assume, what I'm wondering is that because it couldn't see him from quick glance because it was from behind, but it looked like Spencer. So I'm wondering if that was Spencer going to find Negan. And then the Saviors attacked him. And then he's like, I just want to talk to Negan. I just want to talk to Negan. I just want to talk to Negan. And so they'll be like, okay, they bring him to Negan, and then Negan, kills him, like he does in the comics. And Dwight kind of looks up like, this is more messed up than I thought. So I'm connecting the dots. I think that was Spencer who got ran off the road, because he was going to go try to tell Negan about Rick's either uprising or something like that, or who knows? Who knows exactly what might that be? But I'm excited to see, what happens. Around killing. We see a couple people running around killing walkers. But what really caught my eye, okay, there we go. But what really caught my eye in this was we see a quick glimpse of somebody slicing a walker. Now, it was Jesus. It was completely Jesus. But what I noticed that it was Jesus from the start. Because, guy, long hair, kicking butt. It's totally Jesus. But what I didn't notice until watching now and really analyzing it was that was in Hilltop. The Hilltop gates were completely open, and the walkers were pouring in, and they were fighting. So I'm wondering if it was either an attack from Negan and his men, saying, hey, this is the punishment for getting Rick and them involved. Your town's going to get attacked. If you survive through the night, awesome. We're still going to get stuff from you, and you're still our property, and that means you can survive. But if you all die, well, oh well. That's just how we work. So I'm wondering if it's an attack from the Saviors, or possibly even if maybe, I'm not saying that it's true, but maybe somebody opened the gates and allowed the walkers to come in. Maybe it was Kingdom doing a preemptive attack, because maybe a couple of the Kingdom's men were attacked by the Saviors, and they traced the Saviors back to Hilltop, because the Saviors might have attacked their men, and then were making the pick up from Hilltop, and so they attacked their men, and so they're like, okay, well, they see him go into the town, so it's like, okay, well, that's their town, we're going to attack them, and then they kind of open up the gates and attack, and so it could be one of those things where what I could possibly see happen is that we might get like a weird war of Hilltop and maybe even Alexandria gets involved with Kingdom and Negan's group. It's just kind of there in the background, and then all three of them are like, hey, we're not the bad guys, Negan's the bad guy, let's go get him. And that's when we're going to see the three civilizations, the three camps come together and start attacking. That's what I can at least see happening, but I don't know. It could also be that the walkers just they ran into a mega horde, and it could just be one of those kind of, I don't want to say a throwaway zombie scene, because there's never a throwaway walker, kill scene, but sometimes it is like, okay, well, here's a random horde that just kind of came out of nowhere because you need to get your daily dose of zombies. So, who knows? Who knows what it could be? I'm, though, definitely excited to see what that is all about and to see Jesus, kick complete butt. Now, we also do see a couple more shots of Dwight walking through, and it looks like he's a part of the kingdom. It looks like, not the kingdom, it looks like it's in Negan's base, so I assume we're going to see fully Negan's base walking around, and so I'm excited to see that. We get a quick glimpse of Carol sitting there saying, like, I don't know what's going on in the most perfect way or something like that, and she looks nice and clean, and it almost looks like she's in a theater. Like, I'm almost wondering if they were just filming and she was reading the script, and she kind of looks up like, I don't know what's going on in the most perfect way, this script is weird, and they just cut that in, put it in there. But it could be something about Ezekiel, because I'm gonna get to him, don't worry, trust me, I'm gonna get to him. I'm going to get to him. But, so we see that. We see her kind of talking. I think it might be a throwaway thing. I really do. I think that might be one of those things where they're just putting it in there and they're throwing it away. I don't know. Not really too much to go on with that. We see Negan, of course, knocking on Alexandria's door. No surprise, like I said, he's going to come in. Then we get to see King Ezekiel and a bit of the kingdom. I am so excited because we were talking about last season to get into Ezekiel and maybe the kingdom, and we're finally getting into it, so all the cards are slowly starting to fall into place, and all the pieces are falling into place, and it's good. I'm excited. I'm excited to see more of the kingdom. I want to see because one thing that I really like about The Walking Dead that I've seen is I like to see the groups interact, and I like to see the different groups, how they structure. Like how with Rick and his group, how they structure, and then we had Joe and his group, this pen, claim, mine. Okay, no questions asked. I want to see how different civilizations have survived in this world and what their laws are, and that's going to be interesting. And I can't wait to see King Ezekiel's thing. He's my boy. I'm totally excited. We see a couple of shots of attacks going around. I assume it's attacks through the series. It looks like one's at night within Hilltop, where we see it looks like the one guy that persuaded, Maggie persuaded that, I will go get Negan if you give us half your food. You see him kind of opening up. I assume that's during the attack with the walkers. At Hilltop, we get a big spoiler. Enid is out of the closet. She made it out, so... But I kind of hope that one of the things that we see is somebody letting her out of the closet. I think that'd just be kind of funny. Like, she waited this long, let her out. But then we see the tiger, and I've been waiting for this. We've been talking about the tiger forever and a half, and we finally got the tiger. I am happy that we got this tiger, okay? I'm wondering what they're going to do with it. I'm wondering how it's going to be. What I can kind of see maybe possibly happening is... Like, okay, because Ezekiel's cool. We got Ezekiel and we got his tiger. So that's going to be cool. And what I'm really excited to see is the interaction between Ezekiel and Morgan. I assume they're going to have very different stances on life. And what I can kind of see is that maybe Ezekiel says, hey, this is my tiger. Everybody knows this is his tiger. And maybe he'll have some weird special... This is probably just me, like, way looking into it. And it probably won't even happen. But I could see him possibly having, like, his throne, quote-unquote, throne room where he has his tiger. And it could be very well one of those things where the tiger only listens to Ezekiel. If anybody else goes in there, they will die. I could see it being one of those things where Morgan finds out what happened at Alexandria. Carol finds out what happens at Alexandria. And one of them is like, we need to talk to King Ezekiel. And it's like, no, well, he's not listening. It's like, no, he needs to listen. This is important. This is dangerous. You might have preemptively accidentally attacked our friends. You might have done this. I could see one of them walking into his throne room and pretty much, the tiger, that's where we get the big roar and stuff. And pretty much they kind of not like beat the tiger up, but they have to stand up to, Ezekiel with his tiger. And that might gain Ezekiel's respect. And so then he'll be like, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to help you. Now I'm going to help you with your thing. That's something I could possibly see happening. Probably not. But it'd be interesting if they actually went with that, hey, you faced me and you faced my tiger in my kingdom to help your friends. I can respect that. Let's go kick Negan's butt. So, and then we're getting up to the war. I'm getting very, very excited. I can't tell. Again, I don't know if you can tell. But we got the tiger. I'm super, super excited. Then we get a slow-mo. A really quick slow-mo of Negan kind of laughing, and we hear a groan. Now, normally when we get something like that, they fade out the groan, and we just have a slow-mo of Negan laughing. But they kept that groan in. I'm wondering if that laugh and him kind of backing up, if that was after the first initial hit, and that person that got hit is groaning. That's what I think that is. I think that's the person groaning, and that's from that. Then we see a quick little thing of Tara and I forget his name, but we see Tara and him on their scouting mission or walking around, and we see them get into trouble. Now, I don't know if the Saviors are hunting them, or if they possibly run into a completely new group, but maybe they somehow run into Kingdom. Maybe it's a completely new group that they're initiating into the show, so we might get this weird, cool, four-way fight, and maybe that group will join up with Negan, maybe not. Who knows what will happen? But we see them running around, we see some more of the walkers, and then we see Tara, knock somebody out. So I'm excited to see who that is. I'm excited to see Tara be more badass, because I love Tara. She's one of my favorite characters, and I can't wait to see more from her, because I absolutely love her. I love her to death, and I can't wait to see. So overall thoughts of the trailer, it was amazing. It was so much fun. I was so excited. As soon as I saw the tiger and the roar, I was like, it's a game changer. Now, the one thing that I am worried about is the authenticity. Because Walking Dead is famous for putting out trailers that are misleading, let's just say. That will pretty much tell the plot of where we think the season's going to go and show a couple quick clips of what actually happens in the show. I think there could have been a couple throwaway clips. The one with Olivia might be one. I don't doubt it, though. I could see that more being a power move. The one where you see Dwight and the others bow when Negan walks in, that could possibly be one. And I think the one where Carol is sitting, I guess, in a theater or something, and she's like, I don't know what's going on. I could feel that one being a throwaway. But for me, I think this one is more because of what happened and because of the fans' reaction to what happened in Season 6 finale. I think they're playing it more straightforward because people want to know. With, I think, Season 5, was it? Season 5 or 6? It was Season 5, I don't remember. But when they were getting out of Terminus, we see, the main guy, and he's just like, you're going to take us to Washington with you. So there was a couple, but it seemed like with that one and with the ones that were fake, they were giving away a majority of the plot. They were saying a majority of the plot, and they were making it look like a certain way. I don't see that with this trailer. It seems very straightforward. It seems very boom, boom, boom. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. And this is some cool stuff, and this is what's coming up. Because who knows? If we saw any of the other characters, like Michonne or Glenn or somebody running around in the trailer, it's like, oh, well, they survived. What's going on? I would say, okay, yeah, this is fake, and we're still waiting. But because there wasn't any of that, because they played it smart, I feel that this trailer's more on more, I can believe it more of what's going to happen than in previous trailers. And you got to think too, they gave us a lot in this trailer. If it's real, they gave us a lot of stuff in this trailer going on, but they still didn't even show you what Rick's doing, what the rest of the crew are up to, dealing with the death and everything like that. So there's so much more to this season that we haven't even seen yet. We just saw half of it. We just saw like half of what's going on with some of the characters. We didn't even see some of the main characters. So that's where I'm excited. I think this trailer did a fantastic job. I'm definitely stoked for Walking Dead Season 7. But thanks everybody so much for tuning in. I had a blast, and we'll see you next time.